Hi everyone, I'm Corporal Art. My name is Monica and today I want to talk about references. I think that this is a very interesting topic and I'll tell you about my experiences and also how I use references and when I don't use references as well. So when I was starting painting some years back now, I didn't actually use references. I felt like it's a bit shameful to use them. I felt like it's not real art if you have some help, if you're copying something. So I was definitely trying not to use references in my art. And I've been painting like this for quite a few years back then, but I started noticing that I was missing something. The images were quite flat and I was going for the same portrait structures, for the same shadows. It was not much variety, it was from my imagination, but I felt like I do need to improve. When I started digital painting, I was doing some courses and started to look at the references a bit more, and I feel like using references can really improve your skills and it will help you practice new anatomy, new face structures, especially in portraits. It will help you catch similarities if you plan to do commissions, and also just improve your skills, and you will then memorize the different angles for your paintings. So I did feel like this really improved my skills, and now when painting from imagination I can use variety of objects, and for the portraits the different face structures, different nose, different lips, different shadows and light, when before I was just going for the same pattern. Very important point now is when using references. So knowing from my own experience, I did get into trouble once when I used references. So I always try to ask the person, the model or the copyright owner, for a permission. But back then I've asked a model and I didn't realize that it was actually a professional picture. So I did get into trouble from the photographer, even though the painting was completely changed, the colors, the elements were added. It was very stressful just to deal with. So I always, when I see other artists copying exact pictures, I always really worry about you guys. So please let me know how do you deal with it, because for me it's frightening. I would not copy the exact picture unless it's a commission and I'm making a similar portrait. Then I do obviously need to copy the face structures to make it similar to my client. So that's a very important point, that you should always ask the model or the copyright owner if it's okay to paint from their work, to use it as a real reference, even though I know that legally we do have the right to use other work like portraits or pictures. We can use it as our inspiration, so legally we can do, but then it's just very, I think, thin line between for someone deciding whether this has been copied or not. So I think it's just better to be safe than sorry later. So I would definitely advise you to always check with the owner of the photo if it's okay to do it. And the next thing is commissions. So we definitely need to use references in commissions. First of all, portraits, so we can make our work to look similar to the client or the client's family. So we would definitely use references. So it is good to practice on other references to catch the similarities, because if you've never actually tried to use references before, it would be difficult for you to catch the similarities in a portrait or other objects. I often use references for commissions, like for other objects. Like recently I have one commission that I have to add a designer bag or designer sunglasses, so this was very helpful. I won't be able to paint this just from my imagination. And what I also want to add is that using references like really improves your skills and help you practice a bit more. Have some coffee. I love coffee. What I also would like to add is that using the references, it really prepares you for painting from your imagination, for using your mind, because you might not realize, but when you're practicing different angles, different shadows, like you remember it. Like maybe you don't realize, but your mind will catch the differences, and then when you try to paint something from imagination, you will have more choice of what to choose from. So I do really recommend using them. I will show you some examples now. So the painting, actually I will show you. So this is a painting that I've recently just done a couple of days ago with watercolors. So I did use reference picture. This was a picture that I used, so you can see that it is different. It's totally different. The next one actually will be from my imagination, so I feel like the ones are a bit more fantasy-like, a little different style when I don't use references. And you can see the one behind me on the wall, this picture. So there were just few examples just to show you that you can really let your imagination go, and you can create something of your own from the references. Although I do really admire the artists who can definitely create their work looking as vibrant and as real as the picture. Like I personally cannot do it. I have got patience for it, but I do really admire you if you can do this. So I'd like to know your experiences with references. Like, have you ever got into trouble, or do you like using them, or do you prefer painting from your imagination? It's a very interesting topic, and I really would like to know what other artists do. So please let me know. I hope you found this video useful, and have a good rest of the week. See ya!